All right, welcome to another episode of the Ignite Initiative. I have a good friend on, Juan, who we just met, 2 months ago maybe?
At least, yeah.
People make fun of me because I go to coffee shops a lot, but hey, it brought upon this relationship and I learned a ton from you so far, and I'm eager for the future to learn more. And Juan is the franchise business manager of Five Guys. Welcome, Juan.
Thank you very much. Hey, no, great to be here, Mike. I've been watching your podcast and very interesting things. I learned also a lot of things from all the entrepreneurs you've been bringing on. So great. Thank you for having me here today.
I appreciate that. And Juan, you have a really unique, really cool story of hard work paying off, right? And so you came here from Peru into the U.S. Explain that a little bit and how that started and everything.
Sure. It started in 1994. My sister came to Peru, back from Peru, because she was already back to Peru because she was here already.
Okay.
And she invited me, hey, listen, want to come to the United States? And
how old were you at the time?
I was 23.
Cool.
I was going to be 23 in that year. So,
cool.
So those are the moments when you make those decisions with a gut. Those when you just say, you know what, this is it. Let me go, right? Yeah. So I was working in Peru. I studied business, computer programming back in there.
Cool.
No restaurant experience. So when I came in here, when she told me this, yeah, let's do it, and I came in, and so the next year I was here.
Did you have a plan when you were like work-wise or no?
My idea was to get into what I was studying in Peru, computer science, and working on that area. But when I came here with no English, it was kind of rough.
Of course, so no English at all.
Yeah, no. The only thing I learned in Peru, it was translate some manuals and use a lot of dictionary for that, but nothing else. So I, basically learned everything here.
Wow. So from there to where you are now is incredible. So when you first got here, you were at a car wash, correct? And what were you doing there?
Yeah,
how'd that come about?
Man, so, I was eager to look for something to do, right? So my sister was, very kind with me, and she told me, all right, just relax, just little by little, you'll find what you need to, what you want to work with. But basically, I couldn't stay home. I say, listen, let me look around and see what I can do. And the first thing came around is a couple of friends that I met in the street and say, listen, we have a job here. You want to come? And I go in there, work for 1 year there. It was the winter of 1996 that actually made me decisions to work inside and work somewhere where it's warm. Because
so you don't have to be in the car wash in the winters. Yeah,
it was rough. But the one thing that I can tell you is that I met a lot of good people from that day, and then they teach me some English. That helped me. They gave me some, space to grow a little bit on
experience.
Just get to know people and get to talk to people. So that helped me out a little bit. And then, like I said, that winter just made me make the decision of walking inside of a restaurant and say, can I work here?
In Boston Market, that was correct.
And
how did that come about? Was that you just walked inside? Or?
Yeah. Okay. So down the street of my house, they were building the brand new Boston Market right on the time when Boston Market was building up all their stores.
Where were you, in Long Island or no? Where were you?
I was in New Jersey, actually.
Gotcha.
I was Ponton Lakes, New Jersey. So I went inside, and now is a very good friend of mine who actually took the chance on me, Dominic Quitoni. He actually helped me out to come into work, and then from there they started teaching me everything I know about restaurants at the beginning. So it was great experience. They gave me the opportunity to actually learn.
And you were accepting of that, which I feel like a lot of people aren't really. It's just learning, right? And having that experience.
I got nothing else to do, man. So I just got to get in there and just get my hands busy, So what I did is, and it was funny. So how do I learn English, right? And it started there. I used to go to work. There was nothing else for me to do, no friends. So I used to work in the morning and stay for no pay all day long, just learning, listening, teaching, working for free. I just want to be there, right?
Wow.
So at night I used to go into my house and watch TV, put the captions underneath, listen in English and read the captures, and then say, all right, repeat certain sentence, practice the next day, to the point they were coming in to me and says, what are you saying?
Yeah.
We just learned that yesterday. Let me practice, you know? So that's basically how it went. And they gave me the opportunity. They saw me that I was there was learning new things, and I wasn't afraid to learn something new. And so they gave me the opportunity.
And you went from dishwasher to area manager at Boston Market.
Correct. So I worked for them for 19 years. So I was a crew member, a shift manager in the first year. then assistant manager at the end of that same year, and then by the beginning of the following year, I was a GM already with no English. So my English was barely getting in there. So they just took the chance on me. And then again, the one thing that I always tell these new managers now is that you got to compress your learning time, right? So something that I would have learned in maybe 4 years, 3 years, I learned it in like a year and a half. Why? Because I was there. I wasn't paid, but I was learning. I had nothing else to do at home, so you're
still getting value, even though you're not getting paid, right? Still getting value.
Because I was getting the value. So think about it, right? So in a year and a half, I was already a GM. You know, of course, of one low value store, but that's a start.
No, of course it is. Of course it is. And it honestly just sounds like, you know, for the young worker today, just show the effort and the willingness to learn, and then good things will happen. Consistency of the hard work, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's insane. So from Boston Market, when did you? So you started at what year? You started Boston Market?
1990. At the end of 1996, I started.
96.
So from there, all that year, working a crew member. The following year, they told me, all right, you want to be a manager, so let's work on that. So let's start training on you that. So one of the things they made that decision too is because I knew computers back in the day.
Gotcha.
So the managers that were older managers, and they were just introducing to the computers.
So you helped in that area a little bit.
So they were doing this on the keyboard, trying to enter inventory. So what I did is, listen, just step away. Let me enter those numbers, and I did it in 15 minutes. And from that point on, they says, "All right, I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to teach you the restaurant. You do this thing."
Amazing.
That was my leverage, you know.
Oh, that's great. And now you're helping us set up some cost control at curbside too.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And then, so what year did you leave Boston Market, and then why? I know the halal guys kind of happened.
So Boston Market, like I said, it was a trampoline for me to get into the restaurant industry. I learned everything. I love the customer service. I love dealing with people, with crew members and managers and everything.
And you lived every position in the industry.
I did. Right? So basically, I worked, like I said, shift manager, crew member in every position in Boston Market, shift manager, assistant manager, GM, and then got promoted after running one of the busiest stores in Jersey to become the area manager for that.
Wow.
Northern New Jersey. So from there, I moved to Long Island. I got married in 2000. I got three beautiful kids. My wife Patty and
awesome.
And my kids are Emily, Natalie, and Christopher. They're twins, by the way.
Nice. Okay.
So 13 years old. Man, 13 years old now. So anyway, so it's been a tremendous journey with that, and so I learned everything that I needed to learn in the restaurant industry, and I'm still learning. Not everything, but I'm still learning now. They got me into the area manager position. I moved to Long Island, and when I got here, after I finished with Boston Market, I did some entrepreneurial stuff myself. But then I got a call from a friend, also from Boston Market, that they were looking to introduce me to someone that I knew was looking for someone in the halal guys. This guy's name's Dan Rowe.
And a pretty new concept at the time, correct?
It was gonna start launching up. So they only have one restaurant. They started it in a push car in the middle of the city, 53rd and
we've all saw those, yeah.
You know what? So I said, let me take the chance. Dan Rowe, like I said, he is one of the biggest developers of franchises here in the United States. He gave me the opportunity to introduce me to the owners and the CEO. I got the job as the director of training and franchisee ops for them. We opened 7-year restaurants. We went international. I went to Canada. I went to Philippines to open a store.
Really?
So it was a great experience. That was my introduction to the franchisee world. So it was again process of learning. So.
And what do you think is the main key for franchises to succeed, or not even franchise, but multiple locations, right? What's the main key you think, if there is one?
Yes, there is. I mean, consistency. So first, having the right people. And with that organization, we met up with Mike Speck, another senior manager for them, a COO. They also used to own some Boston Market back in the day, and so we click, we get things done, and with his guidance, we were able to develop in the stores. So consistency on the quality of food, consistency on the service, consistency on the cleanliness. It's just basic stuff,
It's basics, right? We were just saying that before.
It is not that much difficult, but it's just getting the right people, you know. So I think
That's difficult, though, correct?
that's correct. Yes.
So what does that look like recruiting wise for employees of, whatever company it is, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
How does that look, and what's the keys to that?
Well, as I move up the ranks and I start learning more and experience it and getting to know more people, and reading some books and listening to other people, it's just about attitude. You don't need that much experience to learn something. Think about me. I never learned anything.
No, you're a living testament of it, of course.
So it's the attitude. You find that the key component for someone that that you wanted to hire. If they don't come with a smile to the interview, it's done
can't
deal.
teach that really,
you cannot
right?
teach someone to smile. So that's one of them. One of the characteristics you're looking for someone to come join your organization.
We call it like, do they give a shit at all about it, right? Like that's pretty simple, right? Like, do they give a shit? That's number one. If they do, then we can move forward with them in the next steps.
If you ask someone how life has treated you so far, and they say it's great, that's probably a good hire.
It's a good
if
question.
Somebody, no, the life hasn't treated me, no, not good, then
Negativity,
the mentality is already there, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody says that it's so, then the same thing is.
That's a great question to ask. I never even thought about that. Is that something you guys ask?
I personally do ask that.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's just you can read that person. So just some quick key questions in there,
For sure. So how did you get into your current role of Five Guys exactly? How did that happen then?
Another Boston Market teammate. So that's how it happened, right? Yeah, another area manager that we used to work together. He connected with me, and we love work with each other back in the day. We team up very good, and he left, went to different brands, and then he ended up in Five Guys because somebody else knew him. It's
all about connections and networking,
all
right?
Connections, yeah. And then so Ken Jacobus got me back into work with him. Bob Malloy is my boss now, and he is a tremendous guy. I mean, the two of them got me in Five Guys. They were looking for someone to oversee the New York City area. And I live in Long Island. I was already working in the city, so I said, why not? Let's get to work together again. So, and again, more learning. And it
sounds like for all of your steps, like even just from coming from Peru and going to the car wash, even in the car wash, the Boston Market, you just say, okay, take the chance and go with it, right?
Let's go. So here's the difference, though. When I first made that decision back in Peru, there was nothing in the bag that tells me, oh, you got to think about it. Hold on. You got to, pros and cons. Just go. That was my first bigger decision in life. And I still remember that moment when that happened, right? You got that feeling here.
Of course, that feeling, it makes you feel alive.
You go for it. All right, so that was the first time, right? Then when I went into Boston Market, that was another one. I have no kids today. I haven't been married.
It's a little easier.
The second decision from going from Boston Market to the Halal Guys was the biggest one, because now you have
some stuff to lose.
Yeah, but you still have the gut feeling, right? But then after that, you got to think about everything else. So, but it was the right decision. It was
easy. It was harder to do that part, going from Boston Market to Halal than Halal to Five Guys.
Correct.
You already did that already, and you knew it could be okay.
And one thing that you got to think about is at that moment you have to be informed. You have to make the decisions with the right information, right? You cannot just go by the gut feeling at that point. So you got to take some other considerations in there.
Yeah, because you have a family now too, right?
Correct. I from Boston Market, I was doing something, on the side with my wife and doing some cleaning business, like I told you. But again, it just wasn't my thing. My thing was dealing with people, and so it gives me the opportunity and the platform to do the same thing again.
And nothing, you've seen this because you're in the business. Nothing's guaranteed. Just because you get hired as this role doesn't mean you're going to stay there, right?
No, of course not. Yeah,
so
it has to do with the opportunities. Right now, I have the great opportunity with Five Guys, and I'm doing everything I can to help all the franchisees that I support and the brand itself.
How many franchisees do you support?
Right now, it's only 4. It used to be a little bit more, but so we have 4 groups that I oversee.
4 groups. How many restaurants? Then?
Oh, it's over 70 restaurants total. Yeah. So and it's been more, but during the pandemic we had some realignments and stuff. But so now it become easier, a little bit easier. But easier in the sense that we have to set priorities. We have to observe who needs more help, and that's where we go most of the time.
So what's the key? to keeping these businesses consistent? Like obviously you want a consistent product across the board, right? So what do you say then is the main key of that? And do you guys have any like KPIs or KRAs you guys try to follow?
So the basics, you have to have a good training a plan or training model.
Documented and scripted.
You have everything
right?
have in paper or in videos these days, where you can train your people and set the standards from the beginning. Use that constantly to when you hire new people and train them the right way. Then after that, you got to make sure that the ops manual is being upheld and people are following
it, right?
Yeah? So that's what we come in, right? We're protecting the brand basically and the customers, right? So what we do is making sure things are being done correctly as the franchise.
Gotcha. And you want it to be equal all around, basically, right?
Yeah, because that's how they build the brand. At the end of the day,
that's how they fall apart too, right?
And that's how they were successful. You got to follow the standards. If that worked, that is the reason why the franchisee buys a business, right? Because it's working. So why would you buy a franchisee and not do what the franchisor is telling you to do, right?
No point of
Otherwise, just build your own brand and
business.
do it yourself, right? So, but that's where you buy the rights to get into the business, and you just got to follow it. That's it.
Of course. One thing you taught us, and Brandon's doing this now at Curbside, is like, and this is something that really kind of blew my mind, is measuring the amount of time it takes to make each item basically in the kitchen. So like that's
productivity,
that's insane.
It's key, yeah.
So you guys know that like if they have 4 burgers, let's say on the order, and it's a minute over the time, like you guys know that, correct?
Right. So the customers will tell us.
Insane. That's true too.
You know what I mean? So
that's true too.
So at the end of the day, customers will dictate, how we're doing.
So when you have complaints, you look into those problems, basically.
Yeah, of course. That's
Gotcha.
one of the main reasons why we go to the stores and why we talk to our managers and we try to make them understand the concept and the ideas. So we live for repeating customers. If we don't meet their expectations with either or any of the expectations they have, then they will not come back as often as we want them to come back.
There was the 3 components for the customer in the restaurant industry, correct? You were telling us it was something about service.
Yeah,
right?
so it's quality, consistent quality, right? Then you have the customer service over the top, customer service, and then you have your cleanliness in the store,
Gotcha.
and organization of the stores, right? The basics.
And you guys believe in that, like a customer goes, like customers have like one, not theory, but one like main point they want, either cleanliness, the consistency, right?
So yes, I remember.
Obviously, they want all of it.
So here's I learned this through videos and ideas, and one of the times when I'm traveling from store to store, and it used to be longer when I was in Jersey and here and living in Long Island for a little while. I used to have 1 hour driving, so I started listening to a lot of videos,
podcasts and all that,
and everything. Yeah. So I learned a lot of things, and I use that as a part of my ideals. But so what we need to do is think about every single one of us have a specific expectation of whatever we're gonna buy or whatever business we're gonna go to, right? Yeah. So my main thing when I go to a restaurant is clean bathrooms. So because the first thing I do is go wash my hands. So if I see something at the bathrooms that is not lining up, then
what's the kitchen look like?
Maybe weird, right? Yeah. So some other people, like you, probably care more about food, or how the customer service is, right? So if they're friendly, you'll come back.
For me, 100%.
Right. As long as the
customer service,
as long as the food is the same as yesterday,
at least it's good and consistent, right? And customer service is good.
So if we don't meet one of those expectations, then that group of people that think the same way as you do will hesitate to come back more often to you, right? So that's the goal. When we send someone to clean the dining room, it's because we take care of those customers that think that way. If we say we got to follow the recipes the way it's supposed to be, it's because we care about the group of people that think that the food is the main thing.
And that's good to tie that back to something so you can teach your employees and the people that are working for you, like, This is why we do this. We don't just do this because we want to do this.
Yeah, it's not because it's in the book. It's a reason for it, right?
Exactly.
So we got to make sure that we meet expectations.
That's amazing. And then with Five Guys right now, so like, what does it look like day to day for you right now? Like, what do you is it just like problems come up and you're there solving them, or you're getting ahead of the game, or how does it work?
Yeah, so the main thing is we have, like you mentioned, we have different KPIs. We have indicators that tell us, where we need to focus on. what are the main opportunities that we have, and then we can actually leverage our knowledge and information to provide them feedback and make sure they get out of the hole, you know?
Yeah.
So the main thing is, it's, again, protecting the brand, building their business, right? Because the more successful they are, the more successful the franchise is, you know?
For sure. And the KPIs can tell you that, basically, you're saying.
So you got to look into, you know, customer service, you know, complaints. You got to look into problem experience, how long does it take to do the orders, et cetera, et cetera. And then you got to think about, you know, we have a secret shop program that I tell you about that, you know, it pays off money to the crew members for doing what they do. You know, and so
incentivizing different areas.
And that gives us also a measurement. Also, cleanliness, food safety is very important. So we have a company goes in every quarter to do a assessment in every store, and also give us some ratings on that. And so, thank God.
So it's all measurement and data. It's all measurement and data.
All that information is there. Give us now with that information, we make a plan. We have 5 days of the week that we go out there and visit stores and say, okay, which stores need us. Of course, the ones that are doing great on all those metrics don't need that many visits as the ones that are not doing.
Don't need that much attention, basically, right?
Yeah. So we help that way, you know.
That's funny because 2 weeks ago we were in Scottsdale, Arizona, and a big topic with all gym owners. It was just like metrics and like knowing your data, because if you know the data of your company and you know it very well, and it's not hard to get your data, right, and then spend hours on it, then you can make key decisions in your business. Correct. And for you, it's like key decision on who you're going to help. But for a business, it's like key decisions on areas you have to help your business, right? So I think data is extremely huge, and that's why at Ignite we're really huge with that stuff, is just tracking the data in gym businesses. Yeah.
Fortunately, the franchisees that we have in the system right now and Five Guys are tremendous business owners. I mean, they embrace all the brand standards and what we want to do for our customers, and they're looking always to do better every day. And then the managers that they have in position, they're also working hard to get it done. You know,
amazing.
It is hard day to day, especially with the labor issues that sometimes they encounter. Not having enough people, hiring new people, training new people.
So you're constantly recruiting, then you have to be, right?
It's a must. You know, these days, you're looking always for that person that smiles walking into the interview,
exactly.
Right? So, and you always need to think about, what's next. How do I gonna get my business to the next level, right? How do I gonna increase my sales? So I gotta, either make the people that I have better. Given the tools, the information they need to do that, or I might have to take part in, cut costs or break apart from the person that's not performing, right? So,
yeah, that's the hardest part of business, right? Making those key decisions and key movements.
And it has to be all clear, like everybody needs to know where they stand. They need to know,
what your expectations are, right?
What the expectations are, how you're performing against those expectations, and how do you move forward?
No, for sure, 100%. That's a really big part. Now, well, when we first met, obviously we have a curbside Mexican grill, and I was just asking you questions, and we were just sitting at dinner at Philomena's from Mario.
Yeah.
And what we were saying was, what I was asking you was like, what's the main reason why restaurants specifically, but businesses fail? And what you told me was awesome. It stuck with me, and I'd love for you to elaborate on that a little bit more.
So I through the experience and through watching business fail, and from other conversation with other people. You got to start thinking about why is it that our business closed, right? So sales start going down because whatever reason happens, the first thing that some of the owners will think is, all right, we got to cut costs, right? So let's see what can we cut right now, and then they start thinking about labor. So they cut the labor. The next thing that happens is now customers come in, it's busy, not enough staff. Now another group of customers will start walking away and not coming back.
They're not happy, obviously.
So now what are the business owners think? So let's cut something else, and what are we gonna cut? Probably customer quality. Food quality. And they start buying product that is under, the part, and then they're not gonna match.
And the customers notice that, correct? Like they're gonna notice that.
Yeah, of course. The one that goes for the food, they start noticing that impact, right? So guess what's gonna happen? The next thing is you're gonna start losing customers that care about the food.
So now the customer service people are out, and now the food people are out.
Right. So now what's next? Now you have no staff. The store's not as clean. And so now the group that comes in because the cleanliness and how you make them feel, it start cutting off. And then all of a sudden that business is closed.
And you lose everybody.
And that's not just for restaurants. It happens pretty much in
for any business.
Retail or anything.
No, it's a key point to know. Like, look at other reasons why you're failing. Don't go to cut costs when your business isn't doing as well.
Let me make this clear, man. I have experience, but the one thing that I learned through years is leverage people's experience. So I get to talk to a lot of people, and I got mentors, and I watch a lot of videos and stuff. And so, between my experience and everybody else's experience, I try to present that.
Combine it all, right?
Combine it all, and just give feedback to people and say, this is what's been proven done, that is getting right or wrong. So, let's work on that.
No, last week's episode with Mike from Pantano, I was talking about being a sponge and just learning everything and absorbing everything. So that's exactly, what I try to do. When I met you first, and you were telling me, you're a franchise manager at Five Guys. I wasn't even about for my restaurants, more for just like general knowledge. I'm like, let me just kind of listen to what you have to say. And I was like, we got dinner, and now we have a relationship and a connection, and it's we can just learn from each other in different areas.
And that's basically how I build my experience too, by learning from other people like you, and the things that you're doing with the podcast. It's also helping me out. So take a look. So through the years, this all made me notes that I made about what made me.
Those are all the notes right there.
No, some notes, not all.
You should document that and put it in a book.
There's some videos, some notes from all the stuff that I learned, like awareness, for example. Awareness is key, right?
Yeah.
You need to be aware of your surroundings, and be aware of what you do. And what the mistakes you do and what the good things you do, because if you're not, then you're losing up. You're not getting that information that you need for the future, right?
For sure.
So awareness is key for everything you do, even for your own body. You start feeling something weird, you gotta be aware of it. Something is wrong, I gotta fix it. I gotta find out what that is, So awareness is very, very important for everything we do.
It's true. So Juan, as busy as you are, you're on the side, you're helping build the Peruvian American Chamber of Commerce Alliance, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Can you elaborate a little about that a little bit more and tell us what that's about?
That's a platform right now that is helping me probably reach out more people in terms of helping out and providing my experience.
What's the main mission of this?
It's basically, get connected with, business owners in the Peruvian community and the Latin American
help people like you were,
right?
Basically like you were in the beginning, coming over and
building business or improving their, or starting a new business. But it's on the side. It's something that I do because I like.
And you love to do it, right?
And I'm from Peru, so they approached me to be part of the chamber, and then I say yes, and then in my free time I get to talk to people and give them some feedback, just like we're doing right now.
That's awesome. That's the best part, right? Just giving back your knowledge of all your experience.
So I'm not gonna take it with me, man. So I gotta give it out.
That's very true. That's a good point.
So,
and on that point,
and I'm still learning. So like I said, it's just a process. Entire life is a process.
And that's where I think some people go wrong. Like they think they know it all. Like you never know it all, right? You always can learn more and just absorb more. So, Juan, obviously you work with a lot of managers and people, franchise owners. For aspiring entrepreneurs, maybe they're younger or maybe they're just managers in a location, what's your advice to them? Like if there's one thing they could do a little bit better for managers, say first. What's one, if you could say one sentence to them, what would it be for any manager of any restaurant right now or business? Doesn't matter.
Learn from the experience of others.
Okay.
Just gather information.
That's it.
Decisions are made by having the right decision, the right information.
Right information.
Yeah. So you cannot make a decision, especially if you have to support your family and everything. You got to make the right decisions with the information, so that you can gather.
I like that a lot. And then, what if they're making the wrong decision in the beginning?
Just
keep on moving.
Yeah, keep on moving because that's the process of learning. Yeah. I make so many bad decisions, man. I can write a book on that.
Yeah, of course.
But I kept moving.
It's being resilient and knowing that it's going to happen. Let's learn from it. Get a little bit better.
That's it. That's another note that I have here somewhere that I'm telling you. It's just these decisions are very important. It's what gonna make your future. But you gotta make the right decision. And if it's not, because you didn't gather the right information, find out why you made that decision the wrong way, and then you just learn from it.
For sure. I love that. And Juan, if there's going to be a lot of people listening to this podcast that are going to want to learn a little bit more, maybe contact you. What's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, my phone number 973-207-3457. Awesome. You can reach me with that number, text via phone calls or whatever. And again, I'm part of the Peruvian American Chamber of Commerce Alliance here in Long Island. They can contact me via the Instagram and their
Awesome. Thank you so much, Juan. I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Mike, thank you very much for having me here today, man.
Of course.
Really appreciate it, man. Thank you.